Hi guys, this is Carla, and this time I'm back with a review for episode 11 of season 2 of Scorpion. The episode is titled The Old College Tribe. And basically, what happens in this episode is the Scorpion team goes back to college. It's like what usually would be. It's funny because what usually would be like a back to high school plot for normal people, it's back to college for the Scorpion team because they were actually, in their early teens when they all went to college. So that was an interesting twist. But apart from that, the back to college plot itself just didn't really deliver. Um, it just, I mean, it seemed like there wasn't enough of it. In a ways, like they had one or two scenes in which each interacted with college people, and that was kind of it. And it wasn't even all that funny in the same at the same time. So I could have it could have been any other plot, really. What I did like about this episode is all the character realizations that they had, the character moments that they had, the development that they had, which is interesting because I thought for sure that Sly was going to be having a hard time after Megan's death. I'm very glad to be wrong in this case because I actually like seeing him happy, and I like seeing him try, and I like seeing him be so mature. So, I'm glad to be wrong this time around. As for Walter, at the beginning when he was all huffy about the whole Megan thing, I was kind of upset because me, I sometimes Walter frustrates me a lot. But this time around, I mean, he got better. I think I when I thought back on it, I started realizing, hey, a lot of people, normal people, like not even geniuses, a lot of them also have issues dealing with the passing of a loved one, and a lot of them just choose to like obsessively focus on something else so that they don't even think about that person who's not there anymore. So why should I blame Walter for that? I mean, it only really makes sense, right? I mean, so I got better. Like at the beginning, it rubbed me the wrong way, but eventually I started kind of getting it. Um, and I don't necessarily mind. Like I see that it's difficult for him, so I understand. Apart from that, then there was the whole um, Ray thing, which I found very interesting because it also, I mean, I've grown to like Ray a lot, as someone who's not a genius but still part of the team, or like even a normal functioning human being in a way, because he's kind of, that one weird friend that really does nothing for his life but, stick around people being annoying and stuff. But he's grown on me. Um, and I think he's been useful to the team in a lot of ways that I didn't expect when he first popped up. So I'm glad that Walter's obsession with not thinking about Megan actually meant he was also helping Ray. Like he wasn't just doing it out of some kind of, avoidant behavior. Yes, there was a little bit of that, but at the same time, he also really wanted to help Ray, and that's something that Walter wouldn't necessarily have done before this show started, because he didn't necessarily care about anybody, um, outside his small circle of people who are close to him. He wouldn't have befriended Ray at all, and he wouldn't have wanted to do something almost exclusively to help Ray feel better about himself. So I thought that was really cool. And, I now Ray's out of the place, out of the garage, and I'm kind of sad because I hope this doesn't mean that he's going away and not going to come back to the show ever again, because that would suck. I was starting to like him, just use him better. Um, but I really liked that Walter actually did something genuinely good just to help someone else, someone who's not a genius at all, but who's become a friend. And that shows a lot of progression in Walter's behavior, and it also just warms my heart because I like, right. And then there was the whole happy thing. I mean, when the episode started, I was kind of I didn't really care until that scene at the sorority house where Happy is like, confronts this girl, and the girl's like, you could. It was funny because you rarely see things that paint sororities and just the Greek lifestyle in general in a good way. And okay, even I like kind of roll my eyes at sororities and fraternities and don't kind of get the point, but I understand that for some people they're really important and they're not all bad. Sure, there are bad things about them, but they're all not all bad. And for some people, they actually do help their life in the future. Having a close group of friends who support each other. So it was nice to not see a sorority painted in a bad light, just, for a change. And it was also nice that even though these girls all seemed like, really, you would think of sorority people, sorority girls, like, airheads who were just interested in pink and partying and stuff like that. But it was nice that this girl had a lot of insight into what Happy was going through. She didn't even know Happy. She just got that from her attitude. And at the same time, even when confronting Happy about it, she was actually very polite. She didn't insult her and what the F do you think you're doing or what the hell's your problem or anything. She was just very polite. I liked that. And it obviously hit Happy very hard. Not because she wanted to be part of a sorority, because honestly, I'm the same kind of person. I'm kind of sarcastic every once in a while, and just, I have my things that I really like, that I get really excited about, but if you put me in a situation where I have to, mingle with sorority girls, I would probably be the Happy type and just stay in my own corner, not really talking to anyone. I may not be as grumpy about it as Happy is, but it's not for everybody, right? So I kind of understand Happy on that side of things, but at the same time I can see how the girl's words hit her hard, because sure, it's a little overwhelming for people, and nobody's saying that you have to, be able to be like all the other sorority girls, and you have to be really outgoing and dress in pink and, talk with a bunch of strangers you've never met and just laugh a lot or anything. You don't have to be like that, but you do have to form some kind of relationship with people, because that's just the world we live in, right? So you have to kind of know how to interact with people. So I understand what the girl was saying, and I understand why it hit Happy so hard. So that one scene when she was in the bathroom and she was looking at herself in the mirror and going, why can't I just be normal? That hit me really hard. So I think that was kind of the turning point when I went, oh, okay, something else is happening in this episode. I love that. Something big is happening. Not necessarily plot related, but it was kind of the moment that got me looking at this episode in a different way. And I really like that she took it to heart and that she's trying, baby steps, but she's trying. She doesn't want to be alone. She doesn't want to not love anyone. She doesn't want to push people away from her. So she's going to try, and that's good. And especially how it related to Toby, because as you all know, I ship them really hard. That was very interesting, and also the whole thing with Toby's nemesis and how the nemesis stole his fiance and whatever. I mean, I think everybody kind of had a bit of a realization in this episode, and Toby was no exception. Because, I mean, sure, it's difficult because I'm not saying the dude stole his fiance, because you can't really steal people. At the same time, it's really sucky if his fiance just shacked up with the dude like as soon as she broke up with Toby. Like that's you don't do that. That's just bad. But you can see it from both sides, because at the same time, like the dude said, it's not something that you can just blame on one person. Toby had his own problems, and his fiance got sick of that. So it's understandable that they broke up, and she shouldn't have checked up with the other dude right away. But it's not all the dude's fault, and Toby shouldn't see it as the dude's fault. He should kind of think, okay, maybe it wasn't meant to be, and I will take what I learned from this relationship and from this breakup and use it to better myself. That instead of annoyingly blaming someone else for things that hurt you. So that was interesting, but at the same time, I liked that Happy was trying to make him feel not so bad. Because, yeah, he made mistakes, but he's getting better. He's not gambling anymore, at least not nowhere as badly as he used to be. And, he's making friends, and he's put his life on the line for people so many times. And it's just a really good thing, for him to show him that even if he makes mistakes, you get another chance. You get second chances. Not necessarily with the same person, maybe. But hey, Happy's around, and you like her, and maybe you can have something. So, that's good. I like the fact that they touched on, like, every single aspect of that relationship, because the psychologist dude he did have a point, and at the same time, Toby also had a point, and at the same time, it's not as black and white as people want to make it seem. So it's good that we saw all the sides from this thing. It was really interesting. And lastly, another thing that I really liked, and it's funny because this episode managed to give like almost everybody such great character development, even Ray. But at the same time, they still had time to develop someone so minor as that security guy, which I found adorable, because the guy was so nice. He was trying to be so nice with Cave. He was like, yeah, things happening here, not that big a deal. We get a few small issues, whatever, but it's not all that exciting. And then he opens up and he's like, yeah, I always wanted to be a cop. And it's still at the end, Cave actually, makes him feel good. I like that this episode, it felt to me like it was about helping people. Like, making yourself happy by helping someone else be happy. And that kind of all reflects back on that one security guy, and how Cave actually let him have his cop moment. Let him be helpful, and, he's gonna feel good about himself. So I think that's kind of the morality of the whole episode in a way. And I really like that. Like, even if the college plot could have been just anything else, it could have been anywhere else. It didn't have to be college. It didn't even feature college all that much. Although, let me just say, the scene where Cave actually stops the party saying he's a DEA agent and he's gonna check everybody's bags, and everybody just runs off. Okay, that one made me laugh. The rest of them, not so much, but even if it didn't feature college as much as I was expecting, even if it wasn't as funny as I was expecting, even if the whole quantum computer thing was like really, really stupid, although I did like that quip of Sylvester's, like, hey, you called me a nerd before, prepare to apologize. That was funny. But like, even if that was kind of really, really a big stretch, because are you serious? Where is a college going to get funding to keep a supercomputer at minus 100 degrees Celsius permanently? Do you know how much energy that costs? So yeah, I didn't buy that whole thing at all. And the plot was just like really, really a big stretch, really. But it could have been any other plot. What I really liked about this episode was the human part, which is something that's been happening with Scorpion a long time. And, as long as they keep giving me nice scenes and nice development from the characters, I don't really care that the main plots are big freaking stretch. That's why I love the show, because I love the characters. So I thought this episode was good in that aspect, and I hope we get to see that next week in the mid-season finale as well. So I guess we'll see. As far as my review goes, that's about it. As usual, be sure to visit our website, thegeekypub.com, for reviews from previous episodes of Scorpion. We also have reviews for other TV shows, books, movies. We had a ton of stuff over there, so be sure to stop by and check them out. And also, if you guys want to be notified when we upload a new review as soon as possible, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where our reviews go up first, even before they hit the website. So you don't want to miss anything, you subscribe. Be sure to do that. And I will see you guys in my next review. So, bye!